I received a degree here in 1970. I got a PhD in history. After getting my PhD, I then went into administration, and I was president of two colleges. First, Cypress College from 1978 to 1987, and then Pasadena City College from 1987 to 1995. And then I was asked to run for office, and I was elected to the Assembly, served 4 years, and then I was elected to the State Senate and served 8 years. And then when I came back here as a scholar in residence, been in the School of Education because they wanted to capitalize on my educational experience. I'm a great fan of CGU because of what it did for me. And what attracted me to Claremont was I sensed there was an individual attention given. They had rigor, they were an outstanding institution, but they had a personal touch. It wasn't a huge class of 100 people where there was somebody lecturing, but we would sit around, maybe 20, 25 of us, and we could ask. We knew the professor well. We had a lot of good interaction among the students. So that was the kind of thing that really appealed to me, the fact that I could come here, I could get individual attention, I would have rigor, but I could go in a direction that it was of interest to me. Later I became both a state senator and a state assemblyman. And all that history that I had of American history, of knowing the way in which the freedom was won from the British, and then the development of the Constitution, all of that didn't hurt to know. In order to get a PhD, you were supposed to know German and French. Well, German and French is not really essential studying American history. And so I asked if I could substitute statistics for that. And they said I could. So I took 2 graduate courses in statistics. And I would have to say that as someone who's wrestled with budgets and things like that, that statistical training was very helpful to me. So I was always grateful to Claremont Graduate University for the education that it gave me. California still has lots of promise, but I think it does have to face up to the fact that we need work on our infrastructure, we need work in education, and that doesn't rule out the fact that we, as well as financing education, we need to reform education. When I was Chancellor of the California Community Colleges, I formed a Student Success Task Force because I said, you know, we're wonderful as community colleges in our access, letting everybody in, but we've got to be more successful in getting people to reach their goal. We have too many dropouts, too many people that don't get the certificate or don't transfer. In California, particularly in a technological age, unskilled workers are not where the need is. The need is for those who at least have an associate degree with, say, a career technical program, or a bachelor's degree, or even a graduate degree. He had gone to a community college when he came over here from Austria, Santa Monica College, and he loved it. And he attributed a lot of his success to that community college experience. So, even though he was a Republican and I was a Democrat, we had something in common. And so he often worked with me because he was not hesitant to work across the aisles. And after all, I was the chair of the Education Committee. And so we carried a bill that had to do with career technical education that he signed, and we had a public ceremony and so forth. So you get to know the governor if you want to get your bill signed. I do think in most cases that graduate work pays off. All you have to do is look at the the median salary. And you start off here, high school diploma only, associate degree, bachelor degree, and then you get up here, graduate degree. Every one of those, the median salary goes up. I encourage people to get a graduate degree. I think, you know, my own life. Uh, there's no way I could have done all I was able to do without a graduate degree. It's not just that you get the degree, it's the knowledge and the experience that you get as a result of that degree that you can then become the basis for lifelong learning. Two things you ought to consider when you're thinking about what you're going to do. One is, what do you like to do? And then, what do you have an aptitude to do? You better pick those. If you can bring those two things together, you can have a pretty good life.